My grandfather's deck has no pathetic cards.
Only shooting stars break the
Hello everybody and welcome to Brawl Stars. I'm Amy the Amazonian and today we're hanging out with Grandpa, by which I mean Abuelo, Ancestral Echo. This is a flying spirit that has a bit of ward and a blink ability. For the low cost of 3 mana, Abuelo can exile one of your artifacts or creatures, and it will come back at the beginning of your next end step. This is a delayed exile in return, unlike a lot of the ones that are these flickers that immediately return to the battlefield, and that means that you can get kind of funky with multiple triggers per turn, but it doesn't work as well with things that, you know, ideally are interacting with the stack or other abilities that are a bit quicker. Abuelo is a pretty good card though because it's cheap, it's flying, and it works really well with a lot of artifacts and creatures. Unlike a lot of other blink decks, this is able to run some more interesting non-creature cards. And I know, if you want to have the catch-all of big blink, Yorian's fantastic. And Yorian absolutely goes in a stack because you can use Abuelo to trigger the Yorian to bring it back to keep on going. And, oh, you can have a lot of fun, especially with some of the bigger things that you can blink, like Portal to Phyrexia, and some of the prototype creatures that you only have to pay their prototype cost and then bring things back later. You can even use Abuelo's ability to help dodge board wipes so you can protect some of your creatures and then bring them back. There's a lot of fun to be had with Grandpa, with Abuelo, and I would say that the deck is actually more powerful the fewer of these artifacts you put in here, but it's cool to get to run a slightly different blink build, since there are a lot of good blink commanders. Oji comes to mind, Yorian, there's a lot of those. But we get to have fun in a slightly different way. So we're going to take Abuelo into the queue, and we're going to enter the battlefield, and then enter the battlefield again. Itali, Primal Conqueror, and a very common opponent for this deck for some reason. Hey, Itali, this is the big old dinosaur that does a bit of Crimesaur, and then turns into the Bite Steel Colossus. Nice Ragavan. Let's not deal with that. Please, thank you. Got an ossification for any future troublemakers we might run into. But for now, a Mind Stone. Next turn, if we want to keep on ramping, we've got Key to the Archive, which we can blink to get extra enter the battlefield. But if they play a little critter... I said a little critter, that's a big critter! We could bounce it with the Warzone Duplicator. Nice Shadow Spear. I'll use Key to the Archive because it brings me to 6 mana. Croson Grip, Regrowth, and Growth Spiral. I will take the Croson Grip, and I will discard it. None of those are really what I wanted. I think they just activated this one instead of this one. Not that it would make a difference. This can't attack. I don't have anything indestructible or hexproof on my board. What game mode is this? This is Historic Brawl, which is Commander for people who don't have friends. It's 1v1, you can have Planeswalkers as your commander. It gets kind of silly. Would I kiss my homies on Magic the Gathering? I'm always kissing my homies on Magic the Gathering. I have so little that I want to, be Skablinkin right now. Bring out Norn. We could have used Abuelo to blink the Key this turn. I feel like I need this as a land. Not really. I'll save it. But in case they destroy one of those, I'll bring it out. Alright, Norn. You ready to stop and enter the battlefield ability like this one? This is the, I have double, you have none. It stops Primeval Titan. It stops Itali, or at least it stops them a little bit. I can bounce those. Seems good to me. And that should hopefully put me into a bit of a lockout sitch. Each turn, I'll be able to blink those, keeping them off the battlefield. One ring gives them protection if it had an enter the battlefield ability, but Elesh Norn says, no, comma, stop it. So we attack in. We deal damage to them. Yeah, you can draw a lot of cards, but without your ETBs and with me getting double, we're in a pretty good spot. GG Atali. Zergo and Ojatai, when he attacks in, first of all, he has Hexproof, and second of all, he anticipates after hitting. I say he, they, there's two of them. There's a dragon and an orc, and they're working together. Check it out. Bam. After it hits, it gets that little fancy anticipate, and then you can choose to put it back into hand, which oftentimes means that they are playing a bit of control. Jeskai Control. I guess also probably Jeskai Dragons sometimes. I'm going to play Extraordinary Journey for X equals 0. If a creature would enter the battlefield from the exile, I will draw a card. Yay. That's it. I'm just playing it as future value. Also, itchy nose. Glacial Fortress. I don't feel a need to play Abuelo yet. I'm just going to hold up my Destruction and my counter spells. Something nice about Get Lost is it can also hit enchantments. Also, planeswalkers, not just creatures. It's Grandpa time. They're excluding my grandpa. So rude. I know. Come on, man. I know he's old, but he's got interesting stuff. Probably. He's not the worst. I'll bring out Lae'zel. Or try to. She might get countered. He's telling a cool story and then the opponent just walked away. He's so hippin' with it. If they target Lae'zel, she'll whoop and then whoop. They shocked that in. I will try to counter Zergo and Ojatai. I imagine by the fact that they shocked that in, they either wanted the card draw or they had their own counterspell. Answer was they wanted card draw off their Dragon's Horde. Get Lost, I mentioned before, not that helpful against Zergo and Ojatai because it has that blink ability. So I can either use that for Lae'zel's ability, or I could do what I prefer, which is I can drop this little bubble up here. It's like cool, seeking cards, that's interesting. I'd rather get a random creature out of their deck. I just think it's neat. About to get Swords to Plowshared. I want copies of their cards. Ooh, Goldspan Dragon! That's a good dragon. Doing a steal again? I would never. Except for all the stealing I do. I feel like that kind of blink shield, the perpetual blink shield for Lae'zel, it's like an ability that you get and then lose. It's really cool. What creature's in their deck? Goldie. Golden. Search for Azcanta. I could get lost that. Make it get lost. I mean, it's a search. I guess you would get lost searching for Azcanta. The bing bong ding dong. Midnight clock. Bringing out Goldie. They have 2 mana up. And they're using actual factual, regular smegular counterspell. Thankfully, Lae'zel's also a beater. They're down to 9 life. Escanta remains lost. And they're still looking. For now. Zergo and Ojutai! Has hexproof, because it entered the battlefield this turn. I can't hit it with Get Lost. Let's see if they choose to put it back into hand. Yeah, there was a similar text on, like, Palladium Moors, where she had hexproof until she hits. But this is just on the turn it enters the battlefield and can bounce itself back into hand. You look at Palladium Moors and you look at Zergo and Ojutai and you're like, dang, what are they even doing? These Elder Dragons are getting wild and crazy. They did not put it back into hand. Swing it again with Lae'zel. Try to bring them to 3. And then play the One Ring. Oh, even Artok also has hexproof until it deals damage. Yep. This enters the battlefield. I get Protections. Key to the archive. Cool. Trying to force them into having blockers for Lae'zel. They can't deal damage to my face because I have protection, so they won't get the ability. It doesn't have to be Zergo and Ojutai. It just has to be a dragon. Rawr. Memory Deluge into the graveyard. Not quite ready to flip, though. The OG Ojutai. Hexproof as long as it's not untapped, yeah. Ojutai's such a pretty dragon. Okay. Lae'zel gets blinked. I will exile her, and she will return. Because she was in exile, we'll draw a card off Extraordinary Journey. We also get a copy of Goldspan Dragon again. I wonder how many creatures they have in their deck. I have a feeling they practically don't have creatures. This is one of those things where, like, unfortunately, a lot of these, like, Jeskai Control decks have super few creatures. And the chances of us hitting the same thing twice, it's pretty low. So they kept Zergo and Ojutai on the battlefield. They didn't let me kill it. I guess they're gonna swing in. And Lae'zel has lost her shield. She is now very killable. Search for Escanta is gonna flip, assuming they put whatever's on top in their grave. Oh, surprised they didn't. Must be a card I really wanted. Now they're telling me to get lost. They're not attacking with Zergo and Ojutai, though. They know I stole a creature. They don't know what creature I made a copy of, though. What's this one? Otawar to bounce the One Ring. By the way, I still have protection. Looking for lands. Looking for lands. That'll work. Part of that was also I just want to be a 5/5, so they couldn't trade. In we go. We get a treasure. The ring bounce is kind of helpful to me. It means I'll be able to give myself protection again. What if they're holding counter spells then? Like a negate or something. Could be waiting to hit it. These copies can go back to hand because they're conjured copies, which means they're essentially a new copy of the card. And we win! GG, Zergo and Ochitai. Vorin collects. When he enters the battlefield, he gets you some lands. And he can flip over, turn into a saga, which reanimates, buffs creatures. I shouldn't say reanimates. It mills and then brings creatures out. Buffs and then fights. And he comes back. And he does it again. Nothing for me to exile here. We have a Tail's End to try and hit their commander. Up to beans. I could technically bounce up the beanstalk. I really don't want to, though. So I will play Ether Channeler and use it to draw a card. Get lost. Cool. We got some beans, so they're going to get even more lands. I guess they could play their commander next turn. Which means I should hold up my Tail's End and my Get Lost. Or even my Reflection Net. Ooh, they're exploring. We want them to play creatures. Here, I'm going to Get Lost the Up the Beanstalk so that I can't draw more cards off it. Soul Herder. So I've heard. I feel in a big green deck, like that's just going to draw them so many cards. Speaking of drawing cards, I want a card. I got a card. Yay. Is it time for Vorin Collect? No, it's time for the beans. Ooh, for 2 mana, I can become beans. But only once. Still might be worth it. Let's draw a card. Vorin Collect. No. No Vorin Collects, thank you. I mean, he'll come back out next turn. I have Zyba Siphoner, which means I guess I could bring back the Tail's End. Alright, let's do this, though. Become beans! Oh my gosh, look at all that damage. Girl, look at that damage. I'm going to do this on my turn, even though it has Flash, so I can blink it. We're going to grab the Tail's End. Then we'll blink it with the Zyba Siphoner. Bloop. Bloop. Grab the Get Lost. And pass the turn. It's a circus of value. And we win! Love to see it. All thanks to Soul Herder. I didn't even play Abuelo. Soul Herder blinks for free! It works. It just works. Good game. Xenagos, God of Revels. He's a guy who's gotta go fast, which means we need to have a fast hand. This has 1 land in it. Let's try again. 3 lands, a couple of 3 drops, and key to the archive. I will keep this. I'm gonna throw back Loran or maybe the Click. I'm gonna throw back the Click. I'll reveal this Plains. So Xenagos gives haste and doubles the power of an attacking creature. Pretty much you give a creature haste, you double it up, and you try to kill your opponent as fast as you can. Ramping up to 5 and then playing some really high power creatures. In like the most literal sense, like high power. As in the power is high. Not like, ooh, this generates a lot of value. No, like a creature that has 7 power so it gets doubled into 14. We got a land, got another land. Is it time for them to ramp? With the Bramble Familiar! That is ramp. Sadly, not ramp I can destroy using Loran. So instead, I'll pop down Urza, Lord Protector. He discounts things, and he actually melds with the Mind Stone and Weak Stone. Double bonus. They have 4 mana. You want to go for Might Stone and Weak Stone this turn? Yes. Yes, I do. Hey, Bramble Familiar. You want to get bounced back into your own hand? You don't do it before this resolves. Otherwise, I'll draw cards. And you don't want me to draw cards. That would be ridiculous. They could also protect it. There's a lot of spells like Cameo Safekeeping that do a really good job of this. I imagine they do have some hasty stuff, but the haste I'm most afraid of is from Xenagos. So I'll swing in for 2. Boop! I can use the mana from Might Stone and Weak Stone to play Key to the Archive, and I can also use it to help pay for Abuelo's ability. I don't really want to meld right away. Yes, the Meld at Urza is cool. No, that's not really what my deck does. Like, yeah, sure, it's fine. His eyeballs get replaced by Power Stones. I don't want to meld next turn. See? No, I don't wanna! See, I'm not playing that. I have a Day of Judgment. I'll drop Plains. Cave of the Frost Dragon. Loran on that treasure. Oh, I'm not able to blink Planeswalkers with Abuelo. Grandpappy can't do it. No. Once I meld them, there's no breaking them apart. Oh, Lightning Bolt. Die by the power of Urza. Yeah, get him. Next turn, I might meld and, cast a Day of Judgment. Xenagos is gonna give this +3/+3. Swings in, ba-bam-bo. I'll attack in first. And use Urza to do terrible Urza things. Like war crimes. Ah, perfect. We can draw 2, we can exile. Look at all these beautiful things we can do. I like the board wipe. This seems adequately rude. And we'll exile Xenagos. Abuelo's like, wait, I thought this was my deck. It was, sweetie. But Grandpa, you're just... you're competing with a Planeswalker here. Chat's like chanting Meld. Oh, hey, Vorinclex. This is Vorinclex with Reach, the one that grabs 2 lands, gets you creatures, buffs things up, and... wow, turns into a big old fight monster. I know what chat likes, and it's Meld. Yeah, chat likes Meld. These are all artifacts. Artifact. Artifact! Grandpa! He's not an artifact. Oh yeah, we get that activate twice. More artifacts! Yeah, I made a gnome soldier who's bigger than a Vorinclex. They shocked that in, I'm guessing, to play Xenagos, so they can make this into a 12/12. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. What's up? Abuelo's like, I'm worth more than this. No, you're not, because that thing flipping over is too scary. At least it is to me. I don't have 5 things to flippy for that. We will exile Xenagos again. I will draw cards. Draw and discard. Oh, hey, Yellow Schnorn. Maybe next turn Abuelo and use it to blink the Thousand Moon Smithy. And they leave. Because we're doing stuff. Good game. Almighty Bob is playing Reese the Redeemed. I say their name because I know I've matched against this person and their Reese deck before. In fact, if you scrubbed through all of my Brawl Stars videos, you'd probably find me matching against this person a few times. And if I remember right, it's a powerful, aggressive tokens deck, as Reese should be. This hand's alright. It's got a way to get more lands. We've got Urza to discount things. All seems good here. Grabbing Plains, gaining life. Having a 1-mana commander is great. We got 3 here, and since I have 2 artifacts in hand, I'm going to throw down Urza this turn over Abuelo. Abuelo is best when I have 6 mana, 3 to use right away. And this way we can, you know, get some extra mana using things like Overflowing Well to draw cards and Circuit Mender to also maybe draw some cards. Yeah, Reese being targeted for removal early on is exactly what they want. Because until you have 6 mana, Reese is just making a 1/1. Reese ain't scary until it's real scary. Doubling the number of tokens you have? Ooh, that's good. Only creature tokens, though. Reese doesn't work with treasures. Or I guess enchantment copies. Because now we have a lot of enchantment copy stuff with, like, Calyx and Yenna. Yeah, treasures did not exist when this was made. Is Brawl entirely a format for online play? Yes and no. Brawl was originally created for paper play and then kind of popularized in Arena. But historic Brawl only exists in Arena. But regular Brawl is odd in that it really is only here. They got that Reese ready to start cloning because of these forest dryads. I drew a Reflector Mage, but I can't use it right away. Yeah, part of what makes Reese so nasty is to double things. It's gonna get exponential. I would say that there's very, 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 very few people who play Brawl in paper. So few that there have been multiple paper Brawl tournaments that had 2 people show up and they just got first and second place by default. The same guy, by the way, did it twice. I remember I saw a tweet about it. Yeah, Wizards was like, oh yeah, Brawl is a way for you to use your standard cards in a lower power setting. It's a great way to use your draft chaff, and it is a good way to use it. This is just for regular Brawl, not for historic Brawl. Historic Brawl is more of a stand-in for Commander because we don't have Commander. You wish they didn't ban Brawl and Brawl? I don't know. I think they were very right to do that. So our opponent is, I believe, just exiling Urza, which is very fair. But that's great for me because it means that Reese is not activating this turn. Okay, well, he can make like 1 token, but he's not making a lot more than 1 token. I am going to use Reflector Mage to bounce Reese and stop them from playing him again next turn. They could activate, make a token. If they do, I'm going to blink Reflector Mage to bounce the token so I can freely attack Wandering Emperor. There's a lot of reasons they don't have Commander in Arena, but it boils down to it is very difficult to have a UI for 4 players in a digital environment that's easy to follow and not horrendously inconvenient. They have let me kill the Wandering Emperor! Let us all rejoice! I'm going to blink my Reflector Mage to, boop, a Forest Dryad back into hand. Boop! Okay, for anybody who ever says, oh, but what about Two-Headed Giant in Magic Duels? You have got the most silver-coated memories. That's what I'll say about that. Oh my gosh, it was awful. It was fun because you'd get to play it with friends. And it was also an absolute garbage mess. There's also, if you want, like, true Commander, there's so many cards. So many interactions. And whenever people are like, it would be easy, I'm like, you two clearly have no idea how difficult it would be. And as just a friendly reminder, if you ever come up with a solution for 4-player Commander in a digital environment that is easy to understand, fun, and well made, send it to Wizards of the Coast. Just do it for free. Just do it. Everybody will thank you. I'll thank you. Get these gruffles out of here. Yeah, just please, just like give your idea to Wizards of the Coast. Ooh, what's this Court of Calling doing? I wonder if it's grabbing Loran. Pine Piece, thank you for the 43-month resub. Oh no, they grabbed a Blade Splicer. Cool, good tokens. Ooh, rabble-rousing. Oh, we're in danger, because they're going to attack in and make a lot of 1/1s. I wasn't expecting Blade Splicer either. No. It feels a bit like it's a Jetmir deck. I mean, they might be playing Craterhoof Behemoth. They're almost certainly running Craterhoof Behemoth. And maybe Moonshaker Cavalry, too. Does everybody swing on in? And they're gonna get whatever this is for free. All the Go Wide classics. Tooth and nail. And they can even pay the entwine cost. Y'all, we're getting hoofed amidst the battle. I love this, by the way. They actually, in fact, got Moonshaker Cavalry and Craterhoof Behemoth. Beautiful. Ah, man, we died in the first strike. I wanted to see big negative numbers. Good game. Atraxa, Crater's Voice, proliferating planeswalkers, +1/+1 counters, and poison. I had a creature that drew me a card there, but I wanted more. Whether through greed or anything else. I have a way to hit an early permanent with my hole. Who's gonna go down the hole? I have a memory lapse, a cool counter spell. And I drew a third land. Nice. I could use that to play Grandpa. Play a land or elf, so I can put it in the hole. Do it. Do it, little Ozark. It's a tapped breeding pool. I see. What else you got? Probably stuff starting on 3 mana. I don't know what flavor of Atraxa this is yet. I think it's going to be Planeswalkers, though, because I think I've played against this person before, and they were indeed super friends. Astral Cornucopia. Interesting. You know where that fits beautifully? Down the hole. They may have spent 3 mana for it, but it's actually a 0 mana permanent. Cornucopia, go down the hole. Nailed it. And now if I blink it, it will come out with 0 charge counters. Taps for no mana. Yes, I think Planeswalkers is the hardest deck to deal with, unless you are very specifically a control deck with lots of counter spells. In which case, you just sit there and counter all their Planeswalkers. Whoopee, isn't that fun? It's not fun at all. Not fun for me. It's not fun for you. It's not fun for anyone. I actually have an okay way to deal with Atraxas if she lands, so I'm going to play Abuelo. Sup? I'm Grandpa. What's wrong? Can't you pay my ward cost? Neither can I. Never could. Never will. They have 5 mana. That's enough for Atraxas. +1. Or maybe they want to get rid of Grandpa. But he's not that scary. You know how many of these games I've barely cast my commander? Hello, yes, this is a land. It could be a wash away, or it could be nothing. Don't tell Grandpa to get lost. I've got so many stories to tell. This is Grandpa bullying. Whoa, guys, that was crazy. Did you see me die? Yeah, Grandpa, that was crazy, bro. He's back, though. Hard to kill what's already dead. Here comes Atraxas. Atraxas proliferates a whole bunch of nothing. And we're going to blast Atraxas with the power of the sun. Cavalier of Dawn, dealing that damage. And I think, crack open one of these maps they gave me to either look for land or get a +1/+1 counter. What do we get? Reflector Mage. I like a Reflector Mage. Swinging for 3. Boop. Does Grandpa have a pension for his ward cost? They said it would pay out eventually. Elspeth Conqueror's Death can conquer the Cavalier. And it will be able to bring back a creature or planeswalker if there's one in the graveyard by the time it's done firing. Except there's not going to be one there. It's gone. We can put that map onto Grandpa. Got a land! Nice! I kind of want to hold the memory lapse here. As opposed to drawing cards or bouncing this token back into hand. Evil Queen in the chat is trying to do her eyeliner right now, and I'm just doing terrible Grandpa voices. Urza assembles the... No! You get back on top of the deck. It's definitely a Super Friends deck because it has Urza assembles the Titan. There's no other deck that would be in. Growth Spiral! Ew, gross. Spiral. It's back in hand. I guess that's good if I was going to make you shuffle. Yes. I'm just going to casually give that a little bit of blockitude. And then I'm going to play Sun Titan. Because it lets me bring back Loran, baby! Let's go! Die, Golem! And we can still swing in for 3. Boop! Sun Titan's so good with Abuelo, in part because if Abuelo dies, Sun Titan brings it back. A lot of our blinkers cost exactly 3 mana. Perfect for Sun Titan. Also, Sun Titan's blinkable. I wonder if they got a board wipe. I certainly do have things worth wiping off this board. Lorraine's just like inspecting these artifacts, but she keeps breaking them. Here comes Atraxas. They have 2 mana up. Oh, okay. I don't think they have anything else to do here. I have something to do. I could either use the Bouncer or the Mage or both. I'm going to start with Reflector Mage. This means they won't be able to replay Atraxas next turn. If I play the Well, I have a chance of getting a card to bring back with Sun Titan. And that sounds fun to me, so let's try it. Boromir! Perfect! I also drew a land. I'll crack that open. I like paying life. Esper Sentinel. Swinging with all of these. Bring back Boromir. Boop, boop, boop. They're down to 5 life. And they concede. Victory goes to Grandpa and his sunshiny friends. Tatiova, Benthic, Druid, Landfall, gain a life, draw a card. She's a very good Simic commander, especially when you've got lots of land-based ramp and just generally good stuff to ramp into. I have a counterspell for the Tatiova itself, or just another threat that happens to be legendary. I've got Circuit Mender on 3, or Reflector Mage to maybe bounce something, and if they so much as dare try to cast a spell for free like her friend Emoti, well, counter it. Easy. Boromir. Love Boromir. Love that he has text. There's nothing for me to exile here. I don't think I'd be countering anything this next turn, so Circuit Mender it is. Now, they might have a counterspell for this, because Tatiova is very able to run lots of counterspells. They went and they took her out. R.I.P. Circuit Mender. 3 mana. Zeus's Many Journeys allows them to play an extra land this turn. Ooh. You. Rampin'. Pass through the turn. They kind of already know this is coming. Tail's End. But since they're a Simic ramp deck, they'll be able to pay 2 more. Won't take very long. They probably actually already had a land to play this turn. Why is she still in the graveyard? You gotta send her back. There we go. If they had already played a land for turn, I would have let it resolve and then Reflector Maged it. Is it Grandpa time? Now let's go for Skyclave Apparition. Apparition. This does not turn into a 3/3. Augur of Autumn. Let them play lands or eventually creatures off the top of their deck. It's really good. Why are you looking at my mana? My mana never did nothing to nobody. Alright, so they're cultivating. In response to the cultivate, I am going to blink this and exile the Augur of Autumn. Skyclave Apparition can't hit Tatiova. I could rebound it. There's not really any reason to. Ooh, hey, Yorion. Setting up for the future. We're just getting down some fun. Let's get down some fun. Hi, Tatiova. You two been thick for the apparition? Yeah, she is. Are you down with the bend thickness? I guess Reflector Mage will slow them down, so we'll slow them down. Using the Reflector Mage to put Tatiova back into hand and stop them from casting it for a turn. Are you down with the thickness? Blastburn with the ooh-wah-ahs. No. Guess I could attack with Boromir, since that's a 2/2. I said it first? Sounds fake. But alright. It's Grandpa time! This lady dare enter the battlefield, she's going right back into hand. Oh, they're beside doing my cave. Lewd and rude. Remy!
Hi, Amy.
Hi.
Hope you're having a good Thursday equals.
I am. Thank you, Remy, for the 22-month resub. They're gonna start playing the big scary thing soon. They have so much mana. I can do so little with these. Hall of Storm Giants. Ooh, I'll let it hit me. So I guess they actually didn't have much to do here. Is that Ward 4 when it animates? Ward 3. Okay, so like technically if they animate it again, I would be able to Reflector Mage it. The beside you! Boop, boop, boop. Excellent. Do the thing. Going to hit the Crucible. Okay, there is Tatiova. She cannot be stopped immediately. Though she draws a card, she gains a life. I'm gonna put a stop on their second main. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6 mana. What are you doing with it? Six is enough for a lot of scary critters. Ooh, or a Timeless Witness to bring something back from the grave. Something like Counterspell or Counterspell. Ooh, Growth Spiral. Alright, I'm going to Reflector Mage. They do the thing. You dare draw more cards? It's what they do. Hey, you attacking? Cool. But it's Grandpa time. We're going to, again, put that back into hand. My turn. Blooded Strand. Fetch. It's so fetch. Use it to grab that. Attack with Grandpa, Reflector Mage, and Boromir. Seems like a good enough Yorion turn. So we will blink. Move my commander to the command zone. No. Everything comes back. We're going to Reflector Mage and Illusion. Hi, Tatiova. Oh, is this technically a different instance of Reflector Mage? It is! That's why Tatiova's Batiova. Hi, Tatty. Stop getting life, please. Thank you. Scoop bugs! Uh-oh. They already played a land, though. And they're time warping. Okay, so we will use the Skyclave Apparition. Because they played the Scoot Swarm, didn't have a land to follow up. We can exile the Scoot Swarm. No Scoots, no problem. Except for the extra turn, that's kind of a problem. I'm just out here like waiting for the Ulamog. Okay, they solved the equation. They already have an extra turn. What are you solving for? River's Rebuke. Yeah, that's fair. Everything goes back into my hand. You get a 3/3 token. They still have 4 mana. And the Balged Recovery allows them to, again, have a River's Rebuke. Boo! White gets me a Scry. No, I need something better than that. And because that entered tapped, very unfortunately don't have enough mana to play multiple things. Oh, I guess I needed to order this differently. So this way they will be able to replay Tatiova. Oh no, it's not supposed to be letting them. Because it's not tied to the creature. It's tied to the ability. They shouldn't be able to play Tatiova. Simic with a ton of mana. I know. They have enough, I think, to animate the lair and kill me. Or not lair, hull. And that is game. A fine back and forth of blinky proportions. Out of 5 games, we've had 5 Atalis. What is happening here? I should say that there's been 9 games total that I've, like, had the camera on for. 5 of them have been Atali, and I'm just sick and tired of it. Matchmaker, match me against something that's not Atali, thank you! I'm sick and tired of these ding-dang dinosaurs always trying to cast my cards. Whatever. At least I go first. Day 420. Graze it. I can't really do much about it. I could put this in the hole, but that's not what I want. Ugh, Atali! Bolted in for Domri. I'll Skyclave Apparition, hitting Domri, putting him into exile. And I guess I'll also Portable Hole the Grazer. This way I will have a higher count for Thousand Moon Smithy, because it counts the number of artifacts and or creatures you control. A fan of crime, sure. Not a fan of dinobinoids. Because Goreclaw is discounting Atali so much, we're just going to go ahead and pop that back into hand. And then swing in for 2. Welcome back, Goreclaw, to the battlefield. Now, you know what would be crazy? If your Atali didn't have any text. Now, in the original Teferi Time Raveler, they actually would not get... Ooh, Destruction. I like that. They would not get the ability to cast the spells that it exiles. And the reason for that is because they'd be cast at instant speed, which Teferi, in the original design, not in the Alchemy version, prohibits. Alright, so they got Prime Time, they got Goreclaw, they don't get any Enter the Battlefields. Fantastic, phenomenal. We're gonna go ahead and plus here. We're gonna blast that Prime Time, turn him into a wee little 3-3, and then I'm gonna turn Goreclaw into a wee little 3-3. And even if both of you blocked my Elish Norn, we swing in, and everything is good. Please stop matching me against Atali! It's not even fun! Thank you so much for watching this episode of Brawl Stars. I hope you liked having fun with Grandpa as much as I did. Azorius Blink is a pretty cool archetype, and I don't think Abuelo is the strongest form, but I do think that it's fun and interesting to get to be able to blink things on demand, especially artifacts. I really like that I was able to pull off a Meld in this game, too. Getting Urza and the Mightstone and Weakstone. Just hanging out together. If you're looking for the deck list, it's in the description of the video. If you want to hang out with me live, twitch.tv/Amazonian. I stream almost every single day, especially now that I'm, like, back from California. So I got time. I get to build new decks. And speaking of which, if there's a deck you'd like to see, please let me know in the description. You can go to the comment section and you can type, Amy, I want to see a Healy, or Pakpatik, Trelasaro, or Shana. Maybe you want to play no. Samut! Yes, there's the one person who loves Samut. All of these get written down, and I build things that people ask me to build. Sometimes. Sometimes I just build what I want to build. Because sometimes I'm like, I want to build a Malia. I like life gain. Thank you so much for watching, and have a brawlful day.